Why do we keep attracting emotionally available people? And what is it? Like, we need to find what it is about us, you know, because people are going to do what they're going to do. People are who they are. But what are we allowing in our life for this to keep happening? Especially if it's like with friends, with family, like everyone's emotionally neglectful towards you. What is it? I'm unlucky, you know, I just haven't found the right people. You know, everyone's the same. You know, you get to a point where you think to yourself, everyone's narcissists. Sometimes it is us. Sometimes it's the things we tolerate. I always go back to childhood. I always go back to how we were brought up by our family. I always go back to what was allowed. You know, I always go back to people pleasing, the fact that you have low self-esteem, low self-worth, because I'm telling you, I've seen people who, I know you've probably even seen online, you know, as soon as the guy doesn't call or text for 2 days, that man's blocked. Some people don't play about that. Some people do not play when they start to feel like someone's emotionally neglectful towards them, especially in the early days. You're out. People like us, people like me who are empathetic, think, oh, you know, maybe he was busy at work, you know, he's got kids, you know, he's separated from his wife, you know, he's moving house. You make the excuses. A lot of the time, it's not even the men that make the excuses, or it's not even the other person, it's us rationalizing on their behalf. Oh, it's because, and then down the line, you realize, and it's for myself. And this is why when we get hurt, we get angry, because it's like, especially if that person didn't deceive you fully, as in you made excuses for them, they didn't come to you with a bag of lies. Not everyone's playbook is the same. Not everyone's going to come to you and deceive you in the same way. Sometimes you make excuses for them, but the way that it happens is they plant seeds. So for example, I spoke to a friend about this recently, and before the relationship starts, or when it's starting to progress, you know, the man would say, he'll keep telling you about his money issues, and that's done purposely. So when you go to complain about not getting taken out or going on dates or whatever it is you desire in a relationship that costs money, because, you know, I live in the UK, I live in London, so it costs money to breathe, okay? Even going to the park, even the cheap dates cost money. So they're kind of letting you know, don't be expecting nothing from me, because I've told you for the last 2 weeks, in different times, at different stages, that I don't have the money. Okay? But does that excuse them from not doing other things? And especially the ones that are emotionally neglectful to you, they want you to do hardcore emotional labor. So even though they say to you, emotionally, I can't meet your needs, they want you to do emotional labor to them. They want sympathy. They want everything that they're not giving. And if you quote unquote match their energy, they're going to say, oh, why are you being cold? Why are you being distant? Projecting. Because they're allowed to be emotionally unavailable, but not you. And now, can you see the way that these people are able to do these things? And that's why I sometimes just scroll past when I see this 50-50 speech and all this, oh, this man has to be a provider. And there's so much to a relationship than whether he provides financially or you go 50. There's so much to it. Because a lot of the men that provide, they let you know that because I'm providing, don't expect me to be there emotionally for you. I'm paying the bills. Don't, like, I want time to myself. In these emotional, neglectful relationships, they want you to be emotionally available for them. So even though they can't help you emotionally, so they'll do little things, like they'll say to you like, oh, you know, They'll bring up someone that's going through something in their family, or they'll be like, oh, I'm really going through this right now. They expect you to do emotional labor. Be like, oh, babe, what's going on? I hope you're okay. Oh, no, babe, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, but when you're going through stuff, they ain't picking up the phone. They ain't there. And especially when you go through stuff emotionally, and then they are also going through stuff emotionally. For example, let's just say, you know, there's a few sick people in your family and their family. What they're going to do is, when you get upset or when you talk about, you know, needing them or whatever the case may be, they can't help you emotionally because they're going through their stuff emotionally. And I spoke about this in previous videos, where when you get sick and with a narcissist, all of a sudden they're sick too, because they don't want to look after you. I've heard of people being sick and that narcissist planning to go out with their boys, and they still go out with their boys and leave you sick. When I mean sick, I mean like bedridden, like you can't move. They expect you to look after the kids when you're sick. But them now, when they got a common cold, everything's shut down. You must take time off work to look after them. When you have been trained to be a people pleaser, when you have been trained to abandon yourself, when you have been trained to put others first, a narcissist loves that. They love that. Because they're like, yeah, someone could take care of me and I'm not going to take care of them. Because they take care of others, they could take care of themselves. They got it. You'll figure it out. They know that you will figure it out. And then you have to ask yourself many questions, like, not so much, you know, why do I attract them? Because, you know, it is what it is. But why do I stay? Why do I ignore the red flags? Why do I keep giving when they have shown me that they don't give a heck? They don't give a heck about me. Why do you keep staying? Because you feel bad. And again, let's go back into, I'm going to do another video about guilt tripping. How people guilt trip you. So even though they're not supplying your needs, when you tell them not supplying my needs and you want to get out of Dodge, they'll then bring up that sick family member. They'll then bring up the fact they lost their job. They'll then bring up all the stuff they're going through. And bear in mind, these narcissists are always going through something. Bear in mind, we all go through things because life is life and we're human. But they will use that to guilt trip you. They know they can't help you emotionally, but they still want you to do the emotional labor. You keep attracting these people. It's your standards are negotiable. You can negotiate your standards. Boundary, loose, weak, non-existent. Self-worth needs working on. So because of that, you'll keep going through this cycle. You'll keep going through this cycle again and again. So, you know, some people just say, let me just opt out of dating. Full stop. But sometimes, even if you're not dating someone, you can still attract emotionally unavailable people. Friendships. Family. Not dating is not going to get rid of every problem. You still need to exercise boundaries. You still have to practice the law of detachment and know that if I put these boundaries up, that person may not like it and they may leave me. And that's okay. Last year, I put up a boundary and I said, I'm not going to be doing emotional labor for anyone anymore. People expecting me to help them process their emotions. But when it's time for me to process mine, people leave me out in the cold. So it's like, you have to really look at your standards, what you allow people to do to you. You have to look at it. You have to sit down and reflect. And another reason why these toxic people in narcissists don't like you being alone, and they always want to be underneath you, always on the phone to you, because they don't want you to process their nonsense. You need time to yourself to think. You need time with your therapist or your life coach to process situations, events. If they're always there, they're always talking, they're always doing something, they always want you to do emotional labor for them and their problems, you don't have the time to really understand that, oh, okay, this person don't really think they're for me, you know. So we have to look at our standards, our boundaries, what we will and won't tolerate, and we need to work on it. And these emotionally available people, it's actually kind of, maybe it's just me, but it's actually kind of tough to always clock when you're doing emotional labor for people. And it's only recently I've noticed I was doing emotional labor for people when it's like they act like they don't understand what you're saying or what you're feeling. And so you try and break it down as much as you can to them. You say, you know, you did this to me, it hurt me, and I reacted this way. This is why we're here today. They know that, my darling. They know what they did, they know what they're doing, and they know how it affects you. They're just acting stupid. So I feel like it's a very sneaky thing when people are emotionally unavailable. It's when you can be around these people or this person and you feel unseen and you feel lonely, but they're right beside you and they're there every day. They call you on the phone every day, but yet you still feel unseen, unheard, and lonely. They are emotionally unavailable. That's the signs. If you want some more, if you want to go into this a bit more deeply, I do phone consultations. The link is in the bio. Let's chat, let's talk. Let's get to the bottom of why we keep attracting emotionally unavailable people. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for my next one. Bye.